BJ O'Neill here with the Business Coaching Success Podcast. So glad you're here, where I share with you strategies, tools, and tips to be able to grow your business coaching practice to six figures and beyond as a Christian business coach. Let's jump in. Hey, BJ here with Business Coach Mastery with another episode of the Business Coaching Success Podcast. Get those words out this early in the morning. Talking about, are your dreams or drama getting your time? Think about that just for a moment. When you look at the bandwidth of time, you are either you're aspiring to impact other as an advisor, as a coach, as a consultant, or maybe you've already started your coaching business. And perhaps you don't feel like you're getting traction, or you're just, you feel, at the end of the day, you're just not moving in the direction that you want to really get to. Have you considered what's getting the majority of your time? Is your dreams or are your dreams, or is it drama? Now, I'll tell you, I'm going to share a couple of examples and give you several things to just consider, to think about, and certainly to move into action items. Okay. Before I do that, if you don't mind, depending upon where you are listening and or watching this podcast episode, if you don't mind to like, to subscribe, whether it's Apple, whether it's Spotify, whether it's YouTube, to like and subscribe. And if you can leave even a review, that'd be awesome. If you're getting impact, if you're getting value, that's one of the ways that you can give back, because that's going to help others to be able to see, be able to hear, be able to learn, who are in the situation that you're in too, wanting to achieve their goals and starting and growing and scaling a coaching business as a Christian. Okay, so that would be amazing if you could do that. It would be super helpful, and that's how you can give back so others can see it. So are your dreams or drama getting your time? I'll explain with an example. So a little while back, I had a phone call designated on my calendar with an individual, and it was time for the call, and they weren't there. I couldn't get a hold of them, and I sent them a message. Hey, are we still good? No response. Waited a couple more minutes, called back, no response. Waited a couple more minutes and text one last time. Hey, did something come up? Do we need to reschedule? And a couple of minutes later, the response that came back was, shoot, this has happened multiple times. And followed by, I'm so sorry, insert excuse here. Now, look, emergencies come up. Real things do make an impact on our time. And I'm not referring to those. Except if the emergency is caused by our lack of planning, our lack of, being able to control our time accurately. And I'm not talking, I know there's all kinds of things that pull on us, right? I'm no different. But we can control a lot of that more than you probably realize, which we're going to talk about here. So in that context of that text is just an example of perhaps you've been there too, where you've just allowed, you can't control your schedule. You feel like at the end of the day, you didn't get a lot done and all these things. Well, there is going to be some, what I call noise, some dramatic noise that you're dealing with, that I'm dealing with. But the question is, have you identified it, and what are you going to do about it once you do identify it? Okay. And so it's really important that and I'm going to probably say some controversial things, not just to be controversial, but just to be practical in helping you. Look, the thing is, if you want to achieve anything in life, much less start something that's going to require some effort, a strong mindset, it's going to require the way of just to really think. You have to recognize how you're spending not just your physical time with what you're doing in that, like right now in this time, I am doing something of value that's connected to my goals, right? This is creating content. It's creating a podcast so that you can prayerfully, it'll inspire and then make an impact for you and thousands of other people. But the question is, do you know what you're doing with your time? So we're going to talk about that. So the first thing is to identify your time-consuming drama. I'm not just saying to identify, what you're doing within a given time frame. I'm talking about being able to truly recognize, no, this is drama, and it's preventing me from achieving my vision and the goals that I have for myself, that I have for those that I love, my family, whatever that looks like for you, okay? And so you want to make sure that you really do begin to identify, which we're going to talk about in a moment, some practical steps on what that looks like. But it's not necessarily just like, drama or water cooler talk or, it can go well beyond that, right? I mean, even social media, the way that you can feel, and I'm not trouncing on social media. I actually think social media has the opportunity, I should say, to make a positive impact. Yes, there's distractors. Yes, there's evil. Yes, there's no good. Of course there is. That's like that with anything in life. But for me, I think if you put social media in the right place, it can provide some value to you. It's really, though, about how you control it. No different than the TV that you watch or you stream as we do today. It's no different than what you're putting in. The whole garbage in, garbage out thing is true. Social media is no different. And so what are time wasters that cause drama? Well, here's some signs that you can begin to wonder if you're feeling like this, you may be working with something that's more dramatic and causing a negative impact on your goals and your dreams. One is emotional drain. So whatever it is, if you're drained after dealing with it, it's likely drama that you need to work through. This could be an individual. It could be a family member. It could be, someone, if you are working full time, which we're going to talk about. It could be someone at your full-time work. It could be a neighbor. It could be someone in your church community. It could be a number of things. But the point is, if you're feeling drained after you're dealing with it, then you may be dealing with drama, okay? Reoccurrence. Problematic issues that continue to resurface and continue to reoccur, and they cause distraction, can continue to keep yourself from living the goals and the vision and dreams that you have. So currently, it's not renovations. We're redoing some things in our home. We've been here 10 years in the house that we're in. And in our laundry room, we're doing some things. And I'll tell you, I'm skilled to a degree. But then I do have to make a recognition that there are certain things that I simply, A, should not do, B, and cannot do. Yet, I will achieve them, or I should say, I will attempt to achieve them. But I can tell you I'm dealing with one in our laundry room where last night I made the decision. I'm like, this is distracting me because it's frustrating me. It's draining me. I don't have the skill set for this. We need to pay someone else to do this work because this is making an impact on how I feel and certainly getting in the way of the things that I should be doing that has my best gift mix that God has given me. Now, you may think, well, that's crazy. Well, call it crazy all you want. But if you begin to mount those types of things in your life, they become dramatic impacts that prevent you from spending the quality time that you need to spend on moving your dreams and your goals forward. Lack of progress. If you've got days upon days that go by without any significant progress towards your goals and towards your dreams, you'll likely have some dramatic issues that are causing friction from you being able to achieve where you want to go, what you want to do, period. All right, there's only so much time in the day. And that's why you don't want to embrace the things that cause you trauma that prevent you. Because here's what happens. Even if I'll use the laundry room stuff that we're doing. Let's just say I had 2 to 3 hours left in the day. The way I have felt about dealing with that, because my skills are not, I don't have, others are do. I just don't have, I can do some. Others don't, I don't have rather some of the most amazing skills. So because I'm so drained, I'm not wanting to do anything impactful with the remainder of the 2 to 3 hours that I have in the day. And that's what drama really looks like. So let's talk for a moment about the drama at your 9 to 5 job. Now, I'm going to step on some toes. I'm not intentionally intending to step on toes, but it's going to happen. So if you are aspiring to take control of your life, If you are aspiring to impact others, if you're inspiring to work with business owners and help them grow their businesses, and you're inspiring to become a coach and a consultant and advisor, but you're still at your 9-to-5 job, and you're like, well, I can't leave. I'm not suggesting you do that yet. What I am suggesting is, if your job is causing you an overabundant amount of stress, if it's leaving you drained, if you don't feel like, if you're leaving there with frustrations out the wazoo, first of all, and I understand what I'm about to say, someone's going to go, you don't understand. I do, trust me. You can go get another job, number one, but it's likely you're not fulfilling your purpose. And just because you can do the function doesn't mean that you're actually good at it or that you really enjoy it. Well, do you really want to spend a lot of time doing something you don't want to do? I understand you have to have a job. Listen, I'm so thankful that there are people who are getting paid, they're able to make a living, support their families. I think the real truth is we get into this cycle of believing we can't stop doing something. It's probably less all about paying the bills and survival, but we've probably built a lifestyle that we are accustomed to that we don't want to change. I know that kind of hurts to hear. I've been through it, so I know. And so my challenge to you is, at least inside your job, you need to make sure that you can, as much as you possibly can control, and I understand you can't control everything, and I don't want to spend too much time on this, but you got to remove yourself from the things that are causing you a dramatic, traumatic feeling and response, even in your 9-to-5 job, so you can focus on your future, your goals and your dreams that you want to achieve. Prayerfully, I've said enough about that. The second thing is, it's the importance of investing your time into your dreams. Because again, if you can carve out more time and get away from the drama of life where you can, realistically, you want to begin to invest into the time, into your dreams. And you want to start thinking about your dreams and your goals and your visions in separate different quadrants. There is the actual dreaming, right? Being on the hilltop, looking out amongst or being at the beach and looking out amongst the ocean and the waves, or being in a huge field where there's just vast. I just believe I love to dream in vast open spaces. It's just the way my brain is wired. I probably can just connect to the way I feel, what I think, what I'm looking to do a lot better. Certainly, it's hard to do that in traffic when there's noise, and it's hard to do that when you're walking through your neighborhood and you're seeing neighbors and you're waving hi and all that kind of stuff. Nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying, getting to a place where you can get some clarity and to dream, that you can get connected with how you feel, that you can get grounded, what it is that you truly dream about wanting to do and wanting to achieve. And then you begin to put that into vision form, which we'll talk about in a moment, about a vision board, you call it whatever you want. It's putting things into a place where you can make some visualizations, and then you're going to move that into actual goals. Why? Well, the financial rewards of your dreams. You could have potential income and growth and have financial stability, and can truly control your own journey, not allowing somebody else to make the control for you that you would have in a normal 9-to-5 workplace. Fulfillment. Even though it's hard, even though there's challenges of moving forward to seeing your dream, the fulfillment that you can get is amazing. The impact. If God's called you in a direction to do something and you're letting drama and trauma get in the way of it, then you're removing and making a barrier of the potential impact that you can make on someone's life. I have been on a consistent basis. I get the privilege and the opportunity to make a significant investment into the lives of guys all over the country, nationwide, because of what I do and the effects that it's done on their lives and their family's life. I get to play a role in their story. That's why, but that's a part of the dream. And I'm walking through it, and it's a journey that does not have an end date or a stopping point. You continue on that journey. And when you look at Proverbs 16:3, that says, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. I hear that, I see that, and I read that. And, Proverbs is all about wisdom. I'm going to go long on this podcast, by the way, if you hadn't felt that by now. I am. It is what it is. But Proverbs is full of wisdom. And I think that what he's saying there, I think what's being said, what's being established is that when you commit to the Lord whatever you're going to do, in other words, I've got this dream, I'm going to make it into a vision, I'm going to process it, think about it, talk about it, look at it, and now I'm going to get some goals. And I'm going to remove the drama in my life where I can, so I can spend time on working on my goals. That's connected to my vision. That's connected to my overall dreams. See how this works? So practical steps. Number one, I would encourage you to do a time audit. Now this does require some detailed principles, and we're all wired differently. Some of us are not wired with the same type of an ability to be super detailed, but it literally says hour by hour, and is close to activity by activity. You're going to write them down. And if you can do it for a 2-week period, I'm telling you right now, number one, the drama in your life is going to become so obvious because you're writing it down as you're dealing with it. Whatever it is. Whatever it is. If this is silly, it's not, what I'm about to say is silly. It's not life or death. It doesn't really mean anything. But I've got these spots in my yard that are from the people who mow, and they spin those zero turns around too fast because they don't really know what they're doing, and it's chewing up my yard. I've spent extra money trying to fix them. I've had to have extra meetings trying to fix them. That's called drama. Now you may say, well, BJ, I can't avoid that or eliminate that. Well, you can by the way you handle it. You absolutely can. And I'm not going to detail about that one thing. I'm just saying that's another form of drama because it's something that's robbing me of my time. And I'm dealing with it, and it's causing my mental psyche. It's driving me nuts because I like to have a nice lawn. I'm not one of these, crazy dudes, but I still like to have a nice lawn, and I want to make sure it stays that way. And this is another impact, and we have to trap these things. So it's been about 2 weeks, hour by hour, activity by activity, just writing them down. Just on a notebook. You don't have to go crazy. If you want to put it in your notes, a Word document, whatever, knock yourself out. I think it's easier just to write it down with a pen and paper. You can keep it up with it a lot faster to do that, for sure. Set boundaries. Big one. And don't make the assumption that, I can't set boundaries. I've got too many things. Yes, you can. There are areas, even with areas of which you feel like you have least control or little control, you still can set some boundaries. They may not be the types of boundaries entirely that you would really want to do, but not doing anything is not the answer. You got to stop doing that. Just saying that, I can't do that. Well, how? Why? Yes, you can. You can set some boundaries, and those boundaries may be you. Social media, consuming too much, binge watching. I will tell you, guilty on sports. Now, shamefully, we have a lot of TVs in our home around so that as I'm doing honey-do list items, I can still watch games. I don't sit down and watch too many anymore like I used to for that very reason, because I want to get stuff done. That matters, at least. Prioritize your tasks and align them with your goals. This is step number one. What we're talking about is, go back to the analogy of, I have a dream, I'm standing in front of an ocean, I'm looking for it, I'm making all these dreams, I'm going to trap my dreams and put them down by writing them. I'll tell you, one of the best ways to do it, in my opinion, is take your phone, the voice memo, and just start talking. Don't try to make it a paragraph form, sentences, periods, quotations, just talk. I think it's one of the best ways to be able to just to get your dream out, and then you can come back and write that dream, make it make a little more sense, and then put that into vision form. We call it a vision board. Whether you do it, the old-fashioned way, where it's actually on a poster board, which If you really want to get down to some nitty gritty, some science-based movement in your life, doing some things that you thought you would never do before, you put a vision board. In other words, you're cutting out the things. If you're looking to make a significant impact on the lives of others, you want to be a speaker, you're going to cut out in a magazine or off the internet, whatever, a crowd of people that you're in front of. And you're going to put that, that vision, if you will, on your poster board. And the list goes on and on and on. I did that with a boat for years. And I know that that's first world problems. But I grew up on a lake. I had amazing memories with my family on a lake, and I wanted to provide that for my kids. But we weren't in a position to be able to financially at the time, to be able to afford one. And for years, I kept a picture of an image of a boat. And it wasn't about the boat. It's really about the connection of experiences with my family and friends that I wanted to be able to provide. We finally made that happen just a few years ago. But it wasn't just because we went out and got a boat. I probably had that on for about 10 years. And you may say, geez, it took you 10 years? Yeah, it did. It sure did, because there was other priorities that we put into the place. So whether you put that into a Google slide, a PowerPoint presentation, in your phone, you can look it up. There's all kinds of different ways to do a vision board. But I'll tell you, when you put your vision down and you're looking at it every single day, it'll change your life. Your relationships with people, your relationships with your spouse, your relationship with the Lord, all of it. Who you want to be, your goals, your vision, your priorities. And then you begin to say, okay, if I'm going to start this business coaching business, I'm going to do it by this date. This is what I got to do. And you start making your goals and you start assigning them throughout the quarter, throughout the month, throughout the week, throughout the day. I know I've said a lot. This is a lot longer than we typically go. But this has been on my heart because I watch every single day and talk to a lot of people every day. And I talk to them, and I have a saying that says, to be unclear is to be unkind, and I don't want to be unkind. And I've had to tell that to a lot of people. Say, look, here's the biggest reason you're not progressing. First of all, stop talking. And I will say that. I say that out of love, but I love you enough to tell you the truth. Stop talking. You are literally just walking around in circles, saying the same thing over and over, and that's called drama. Yes, stop. So that's you. Stop it. Get control of your thoughts. Is it Colossians 10:5? Take every thought captive and make it obedient to Christ. Practice that. Rehearse that. That may not be Colossians. I know it's 10:5. I can't remember where it's at. But start to practice that today. Stop thinking about all these negative thoughts. Stop processing. Even in traffic, by the way, I'm guilty here. Stop thinking about that person who swerved over in front of you and you call them an idiot and all these things. Those are the things that build to unnecessary drama that gets in your way. From the smallest things to being in traffic to the really big things in life that you're just not sure what to do, probably your job. Not for everybody, but for those who are living purposeless. You go in every day, you don't like it, it's not fulfilling you, that's drama, but you still can make it work inside the 9 to 5 while you're building to your dreams and your goals. Man, I hope you get something out of this. I know I rambled a little bit. But I'm also sensitive to talking with enough people every day to know how you probably feel. And a lot of people are walking around in an aimless state and they're not sure how to get out of it. And one of those steps is removing unnecessary drama, and that could be people. And as much as you love them, it doesn't mean you have to bake them a cake. It doesn't mean that you have to spend your time around them all the time. You can still pray for them. You can still have extremely limited access. And I understand the challenges that brings. But you got to do something that moves you to your goals, your dreams, your vision that God's given you. If you really do believe, I'm going to leave you with this. If you really do believe that God has given you vision and a calling, I feel called to do what I do. I fully believe that in my core. You can't take that from me. And that calling keeps me going every single day. And there's plenty of days that I don't want to do any of it, some of it, whatever. I know I feel called. If you feel that way, you've got to begin to take action in your mindset, take action with your activity, take action with those around you, and start to move. And it might take a while. Okay. If it's just about speed, then you're not really called to it. You really aren't going to be devoted to seeing it through. In our coaching community, we talk about this all the time. And perhaps you're in that season where you're just trying to figure out what this could look like for you. You hadn't really talked to anybody you want to talk to. Hit me up. You can go to businesscoachmastery.com. There's a place you can schedule a time. We'll just talk about your goals. I'll even share with you what we do, our done-for-you coaching system and our community of how men all over the world are using our system. And perhaps it's a great fit for you as well to get you headed to your dreams, your vision, and your goals. All right? businesscoachmastery.com. Find a time. Let's chat. Take care.